excited to talk about tonight because here's the deal. Whether you are just starting and you're like, how do I just get everything into alignment? How do I, bring my higher purpose and turn it into a profitable online, turning yourself into an online entrepreneur, turning it into a profitable online business, whether that is you and you are just starting, or you have been in the game for a minute and you're like, I've hit a plateau. Sometimes you need to just refresh and reassess everything to make sure that it's not only in alignment with like your personal brand and the vision of who you are and who you want to become, that next level for yourself, but that it's also, it's got to have the 4 Ps. And this is something that I wish that I knew when I first started. And I also, having already achieved 2 businesses achieving 6 figures, I already kind of put myself kind of like through the same evaluation process. I allow myself some time to reassess and to refresh everything to make sure that it's in alignment with the 4 Ps. So again, whether you are just starting or whether you've already achieved success and you want to get to that next level, making sure that you are on point with the 4 Ps, we're going to cover those in a second, has been imperative for not only myself, but then the clients that I work with, talking about and making sure that it's that ultimate fulfillment that you get to create in growing your online business, in growing and getting to the next level of your personal brand. Because if it doesn't have the 4 Ps, then burnout happens. You hit a plateau and you don't know what to do. You lose excitement and motivation and momentum for your business. Those are all natural things. And yet I've come to find that those are easier to hit. The burnout, the lacking momentum and motivation usually are easier to hit if they're not covered, if you don't have the 4 Ps. So let's break down the 4 Ps. First one, 100% has to be something that you are passionate about. Anything that you venture into, any idea, anything that you choose to create in your career, in your life, absolutely, in your relationships, 1000%, but for sure today we're talking about all things business. So it has to be something that you're passionate about. That sounds like that should just be known, right? But that almost, we sometimes forget, or sometimes you get into a habit of going after some things that make a good profit, but then you either lose passion for the things that have made profit, or you go after making the money and it's not something that you're passionate about. And that loses the momentum and the drive and the motivation. So starting always with something that you're passionate about, and those are like the things that light you up, the things that aren't a should. If you find yourself in your business asking questions of like, well, what should I be doing now? That's not going to be in the alignment of something that is on the passion side. So just starting there. So anything that it sounds like a should, or you're actually saying should, cross that one out, because it's not going to be in the perfect balance equation and helping you stay into alignment with something that is purposeful and profitable in order to create a business that's fulfilling. So it's the things that you love, right? What are you also really good at? Sometimes, in my Launch to Lead program, we often talk about what are the things that you're really good at that sometimes you don't even know that you're really good at, or things that you are so good at that you almost sort of take for granted. And yet it's something that maybe people really need. And yet you're like, that's like not really that big of a deal. Like whatever, like you almost cast it off. Like you don't really think it's that big of a deal, but to somebody else, it would be like, oh my gosh, that is massive. I totally need that. So those are on your passions list. We take them for granted a little bit, right? So your passion will always fuel your motivation. Always. Again, if we miss that, or if we go after the things that we're not passionate about, then it sets us up, it sets the foundation for eventually losing motivation. There's plenty of things as you being an entrepreneur, there are plenty of things to lose motivation over. We won't go into all of those right now, but it's what really will continue fueling your motivation to pursue your purpose, right? Which then leads me to the second P. It has to be purpose. It has to be something that's like your purpose is the determination that you have behind your desire to create whatever it is that you're creating in your business. Often people are constantly looking for their purpose or reassessing once they kind of have been in business for a little bit. Then it's like, oh, am I following my purpose? Is this fulfilling my purpose? Everybody has this like deep question of like, what is the purpose? Am I fulfilling it? Am I messing it up? Like is it in alignment with the purpose? Your purpose, it's the fuel for the impact that you want to make. It's not always the thing that you're doing. It's the fuel for the impact that you want to make. It's the expression. It's your deepest reason why you're doing what you're doing. It's the offer. It's being able to offer something in contribution, right? That is supportive or offers a greater value to a community or the world or some larger scale that makes a positive impact on others. That's at least how I define purpose. It's not always a thing. It's not the thing that you're doing. It's the fuel behind. It's your why, right? And then that leads me to then presence, which is the third P. And especially for those of you that are online entrepreneurs, my feminine leaders, that your personal brand presence, those of you that are really wanting to either start a personal brand or you need to like polish up your personal brand image and everything that you're offering, making sure that your presence is on point has 1000% been key. What's your presence? It's when you, the most authentic version of you, is in alignment with the version of you that you present to the world. And how you're showing up. Yes, some things are about how, what you wear, right? All the external, the colors, all the pretty, like the making it look pretty as far as the personal brand. That's the very external, but presence is a little bit more than that. It's the soul essence of you. It's the highest version of you. It's your radiance that you like exude out. It's the primary aspect of you that will build and establish that sort of know, like, and trust, or rather just the like and trust within your audience, within the clients that you want to work with. It's your aura, if you will. It's your essence. It's your presence. It's something that you can't always put your finger on, but when you feel like it's in alignment and you can feel it coming through you, it's not something that you get from the outside. It's, I often joke, one of my favorite quotes of Marilyn Monroe is like, give a woman a pair of shoes and she can take over the world. Your presence has to do with the shoes that you wear, but it's not the shoes that you wear. It's the how you feel when you put on something that is that like dope ass pair of heels that represents how you want to show up in the world, the leader that you want to show up in the world, and it's in alignment with your highest desires and your highest purpose and passion. That's your presence. It's that sort of like indescribable thing that it transcends anything on the external. It transcends personal looks. Honestly, it's the most important out of the 4 Ps, in my personal opinion. And it's what you bring to every call. It's what you bring to every group session. It's what you bring to every webinar or live stream or Instagram or sales call. It is that like foundation of trust factor. Then that leads me to the final P, which is profit. Again, You've got to have all four in order to have a business that is fulfilling and doesn't lead to that sort of burnout and lack of motivation. And the final one is profit. It has to be profitable. It has to be something that isn't just profitable, but feels good in the profit that you're making. Sometimes when you're starting, you might be, starting off testing the waters on how much profit, and then growing into more of the value that you offer and more of the price point and going more high ticket. You might already be high ticket, in which case then you want to get to that next level. It's more than making money though, right? The profit is more than like knowing your value. It's so many people talk about, right? Know your value. I sometimes think that that's such a weird concept, because how do you really put a price on like your badass divine presence? There's not really a price for that. But it's more of allowing yourself to have the conversation of like falling in love with the benefits that come from being able to establish a profit from something that you're offering that is fulfilling your purpose, that also feels really good. I can honestly say, when I first started and I was testing out little things, I was not charging what my value is now. And sometimes that felt good in the beginning because it was like testing, but then it started not fully feeling into alignment. So there's a sweet spot on the profit. I've also then heard of people who charge this like outrageous amount, and it's not fully in alignment with, like, it doesn't seem to match really the value then that they're offering, or it just sort of seems like they're going after the money and it's not, then it doesn't have that presence and that purpose and that passion behind it, right? And that's why we're kind of talking about all four of them need to be in alignment in order to have that ultimate like fulfillment. So it can be a little bit of like a reframe if this conversation about profit is like I said, sometimes you're just starting out and you're like, I don't know if I should charge or how much to charge. And then you might be at 6 figures and you're like, how do I get past that 6-figure mark into multi-6 or even 7 figures? It's a reframe conversation where learning to fall in love with the next level of luxury, learning to fall in love with enjoying the possibilities that come from being able to offer something that feels like it's a balance of an energy exchange. It's letting go of what people think or what you might be afraid people are going to think. If you receive more, if you allow yourself to receive more. So it's checking the internal dialogue, it's checking your perspective on that. It's sort of the fullest expression, honestly, of your feminine. I think talking about profit is like, if we're going to put it in the full context of money is like a lever. And especially for women, money is like a lever. And to be open to letting your lover love you, being open to allowing the expression of your feminine to receive, to be open when you're giving so much and you're nurturing so much, and allowing that sort of balance between allowing your feminine to receive and then everything that you're nurturing and offering into the world. So again, in order to really establish the most fulfilling of reaching the next level, the most fulfilling aspect of reaching the next level in your business, or if you're just starting out, making sure that these are in alignment, so that then you can have that balanced business that doesn't lead to a plateau of not being as motivated or sort of hitting that like burnout sensation, right? All of those things, I believe, in my experience, are if each one of the 4 P's was not fully balanced, or if it was like just not enough in equal balance of all four, then that led to burnout or led to lack of motivation. And so again, that's making sure that it's something that you are passionate about and fulfilling your purpose. So something you're passionate about means you have to love it. It's not a should do, it's a like I get to or I want to. And two, it's something that's alignment with your purpose, that fulfills your why, that is a deeper need, like a deeper desire of fulfilling that to be making a greater impact. Then also with your presence, it's you, it's how you're showing up, and that balance between how you want to show up as a leader and who you need to be in your business, the most authentic version of you and who you need to be in your business. And then it's profit and making sure that that feels really good and it's in alignment with the fullest expression of being able to receive as your feminine and nurturing at the same time. So one of the things that we really cover, if those of you who have been following me for a while, some of you know about my Launch to Lead program, where we really focus on restructuring the offers that you have and also getting super clear on refreshing and redoing like your personal brand and your essence, your presence that you're offering out into the world. And then making sure that you're marketing and selling like a pro without feeling all sticky and weird. And in order to do that inside of the Launch to Lead program, one of the areas that we really focus on is getting into it's another P word, but it's getting into a possibility thinking and allowing yourself to take all of the ideas that you have and filter first, right? Just being in that possibility thinking and all the things that you would either want to create, either again, if you're starting, or if you're recreating something, you're wanting to take something to the next level, you're wanting to refresh something that you already have. Getting into the space of possibility thinking. If you were to play a game of creativity, I like to do a lot of mind mapping and taking, okay, if I were to create this and put them together, then what would that look like? And what would I be able to create out of that? Taking that idea of possibility and then filtering it through the 4 Ps. If you can do that, then you will set yourself up with a foundation for a business and a career that is fulfilling and doesn't hit burnout, doesn't hit lack of motivation. Again, there can be other reasons for that, but it won't be the offering that you're presenting to the world. It won't be what you're here to bring as far as making a bigger impact. So I would present to you, I would invite for you to ask a couple questions for yourself to kind of see where you're at, where you might be. Again, if you're just starting, this is going to be really helpful for you in setting us a foundation, honestly, that I wish that I did more and better in the beginning. Or if you're sort of at that level and you're like, okay, I've reached a plateau in my business. I need to refresh. I need, to kind of polish up the brand a little bit. I need to polish up like my offers so that you can make more money, so that you can position yourself as more of how you see yourself leading as the future version of you. So those questions that I would have you ask, or I would invite you to ask for yourself, is 1, your desires. Why is it important for you to achieve them? So whatever you're personally doing right now for your business, whatever that desire is, you could be launching something for the first time. You could be relaunching something. You could be tearing apart your whole business and doing something completely new and different. These have been through all of those stages. So whatever that is for you, why is it important for you to achieve that right now? Right? And I often honestly like to kind of just put myself in, like, it doesn't have to be a super deep meditative state, right? But just a state where you're just kind of clearing the mind and allowing whatever your overthinking might be doing, allowing your inner critic, like allowing your, I call my perfectionist, I call her Patricia, right? I have definitely names for all of the versions of me that like to have a voice in my mind and give their opinion. So I would ask all of them to just kindly Sit down so that you can have a clear perspective and getting into that possibility thinking while you're asking yourself these questions. And so one, your desire, whatever that is to create or do right now. Why is it important for you to achieve it right now? And just allow the first thing to come into your mind without the audience listening, the audience in your mind listening. Number two, this relates to your passion. So are you currently, again, if you're just starting or if you're wanting to like redo, up level, refresh, are you doing what you love? And is it your mission, but is it not making the profit that you want? So could you be doing something that you love? You totally feel like you love it, might even be in alignment with your mission, but you're not, like, the value isn't getting you the return that you feel like you're giving out. For something like that, you would need to look at like restructuring your value ladder, restructuring the offers that you're presenting into the world. Again, if you're just starting, you don't have that, that's absolutely a must. If you're refreshing and you're redoing, I change my value ladder whenever I'm refreshing anything. I've done a rebrand twice. I've changed 2 different careers. So I'm a big fan of refreshing things. You always want to, when you need to refresh or completely reinvent if you've sort of hit a plateau. If you feel that ultimate like stuck and you're just like, I don't know, I'm not inspired. Again, I'm not motivated. I'm not right. You've already hit that plateau. So it's being able to look at those, or you're not making what you feel is directly in alignment with the value that you're offering. All of those are hitting plateaus. So you would need to reassess your value ladder and also your brand presence. That might have a little bit to do with like, okay, how are you presenting yourself as that leader in the field? Do you need to polish that up a little bit? Second one has to do with purpose. Are you fulfilling a need that is in the world? Does what you offer, does it have the potential to have a bigger impact on the world? Again, just allowing the first thing to pop into your mind. If it's not fully yet, it doesn't make it bad and wrong. It just means, cool, it needs to be tweaked a little bit, right? Because again, you want them to have all 4 in order to make sure that it's fully in alignment. So are you fulfilling, is it fulfilling a need in the world? And is it able to build a community around this mission? That is, especially now, oh my gosh, creating communities to just have stronger connection so that then you can position yourself as a leader, but also just creating that tribe and bringing people together to have a greater impact. So is what you're doing, is it fulfilling on a bigger level to grow your awareness and a community? Does it have the potential to grow a community around your mission? That definitely has to do with your brand presence as well. And needing to really does that need to be polished up? Do you need to step into this next level version of you? How do you need to show up next for creating that dynamic to really bring a greater impact into the world, or really establish a greater community? Okay. And the fourth one is, maybe you've built a career, maybe you have the skills, the capabilities, like your shit. I don't know if I'll bleep that out. You guys know I don't have a filter anyways. So maybe you've done it. Maybe it is for the world. But are you experiencing a place of like, yes, I've done all this. Yes, I have, created something that the world needs, but have you reached sort of that level where you are at a plateau and you're like, well, what do I do now? Or, not feeling like it's fully, feeling like you've fulfilled what it is for you. And now that there's something next There's something undiscovered. You can go bigger with it, right? Oftentimes I speak to so many of my clients and they're like, cool, I fulfilled this and I want to go bigger. I want to be able to make more money. I want to position myself in a better way, right? We're always growing. And so naturally, anything that you're doing in your career or your business is going to grow and it's going to expand. I often thought in the very beginning when I first started, I was like, oh, I have to get everything perfect and it's going to stay that way the whole time. And so I have to just get it this exact way, the way that it's going to stay for years, right? And I thought that was what was needed. I'm so happy that I learned that was not the case very quickly. And so I don't know if that's you, but if you're thinking like that nothing is going to change or expand, then that's also not being in that space of possibility and allowing, as you expand, then your career is going to expand. Your business is going to expand. The ideas that you have to offer are going to expand. Oftentimes I'm always working with people, especially women, because we have so many creative ideas. And then it's like, great, how do we turn all of our ideas into something that then is profitable, then does make a profit, then allows us to show up as our presence, or have a really powerful presence as a female leader. And it's something that we're passionate about. How do we do all of those things and just make those like the awesome, creative, multiple ideas through your mind? How do you organize that into a really systematic way that you can do all of that? So again, if you've been either following for a while or if you're just new, that's a big piece of a conversation that we talk about on our strategy calls, specifically around, what is inside of Launch to Lead. So if that's you too, for just the private community here inside of the Lead Like Her private live streams that we're doing, I will always do a complimentary consultation. So if you have questions about stuff like that, I will put the link for you. So you're either listening to this or you might be listening to it on the podcast or the live replay. This is just for those of you that are part of this live stream. So if that's for you, then let's definitely, have that conversation. You can ask me all the questions in the world. It's not for everybody, even being an online entrepreneur, even being a female leader, congratulations. You're the 1% to 2% type of badass babes that are like, hello, we see ourselves doing more. We would like to offer more to the world. And you're actually doing it. That's not for everybody. I don't recommend it for everybody. It's a skill. It's a drive. It's a desire. You have to have the passion. You have to want more. You have to want more for yourself. You have to want more for those around you in the community that you're offering. It's a different breed. We're just a different breed. So congratulations if you're here, that's you. Those are the type of women that I surround myself with and that I'm always attracting. So I love that you're here. And of course, if you have any questions, then you can always ask me. So